Everyone thinks they know what's coming. The clock is ticking down to January, the window opens, and the world expects Wrexham to do what Wrexham does. Splash the cash, bring in the Hollywood cavalry, and blow the League One budget cap out of the water. It's the narrative, isn't it? The owners have deep pockets, the ambition is Premier League or bust, so surely we are going to see a parade of new faces walking through the doors at the racecourse. But hold on, stop right there. Because while the fans are dreaming of multi-million-pound strikers and marquee midfielders, Phil Parkinson has just dropped a reality check that has completely flipped the script. You want to know the plan? You want to know where the new signings are coming from? Look at the physio room. Look at the bench. The Gaffer isn't looking at a catalogue of expensive imports. He's looking right here in North Wales at the weapons he hasn't even been able to use properly yet. Parkinson has come out and revealed his hand, and it's a bold one. He's explicitly stated that he is looking forward to welcoming players back from injury, rather than obsessing over the madness of the January market. Is he bluffing? Is this a masterstroke of squad management? Or is he taking a massive gamble with our promotion hopes? Let's get into the thick of this, because the implications are absolutely massive for the second half of the season. You have to respect the nerve of the man. In a world where every manager is crying out for funds, begging for reinforcements, and blaming a lack of depth for every dropped point, Phil Parkinson is standing firm. He's calm, he's composed, and he's telling us that the solution to any problem we have is already wearing the badge. I'm more focused on the ones coming back. That's the quote. That is the headline. Think about the psychology of that for a second. We are sitting in a position where we could easily push the panic button. The competition at the top of the table is fierce. Birmingham, Wycombe, Stockport, nobody's blinking. The pressure to spend is immense. But Parky is looking at the squad list and saying, we have enough. He's not ruling out signings entirely, we'll get to that, but his priority is reintegration, not revolution. And when you look at the names on that injury list, you start to see his point. These aren't squad fillers, these aren't kids making up the numbers. We are talking about serious quality that has been sidelined. It's a mentality thing. If you bring in 4 or 5 new starters in January, what does that say to the lads who got you here? It says you don't trust them. It disrupts the dressing room. It breaks that bond that Wrexham has built over the last few years. By focusing on the returning players, Parkinson is doubling down on his Red Dragons DNA. He's telling the squad, you are the guys, you are the ones who will finish this job. But is it enough? That's the question keeping us up at night. Is relying on players coming back from long layoffs safer than buying match-fit talent? It's a massive call.
Let's talk about the heavy hitters. Because when Parky talks about players coming back, he's talking about Premier League pedigree and championship grit. Take Jay Rodriguez. This isn't just some random bloke. This is a striker who has done it at the very highest level. He's been registered in the squad, replacing Elliot Lee in that list, which is a headline in itself, and he's already made his presence felt. He came off the bench in that absolute madness of a game on Boxing Day against Sheffield United. That 5-3 win, my word, that was Racecourse heritage right there. The atmosphere was electric, the football was chaotic in the best way possible, and seeing Rodriguez step onto the pitch, that felt like a new signing. It felt like unleashing a secret weapon. He's been working behind the scenes, getting fully fit, waiting for his moment. Now he's ready. Having a striker of his experience available for the run-in is worth more than any panic buy gamble you could make on deadline day. And then there's Ollie Rathbone. The lad has had a frustrating time, hasn't he? Ankle problem in pre-season, in and out, limited opportunities to really stamp his authority on the team. But Parky confirms he is now fully fit. Fully fit. Rathbone is a dynamo. He's the kind of player who sets the tempo, who bites into tackles, who drives the team forward. We haven't seen the best of him yet, not even close. So when Parkinson says he's focused on these guys, he's basically saying, I have a brand new midfielder and a brand new striker ready to go. Why go out and spend £2 million on a midfielder who needs time to adapt to the system, learn the town and settle in, when you have Ollie Rathbone chomping at the bit, already knowing exactly what is required? It makes sense, it's logical, but it's not the sexy transfer news that the internet craves. It's better. It's football intelligence. Now this is the one that gets me excited. This is the one that could change everything. Andy Cannon. We need to talk about Andy Cannon. Do you remember the heartbreak at Mansfield Town back in February? That 2-1 win came at a massive cost, a ruptured ACL. It's the injury every footballer dreads. It's the lonely road, months of rehab, watching the lads play from the stands, the grueling gym sessions, the doubt. He was left out of the 25-man squad submitted to the EFL for the first half of the season. He had to be. He wasn't ready. But guess what? The calendar is flipping over. January 1st is coming, and Andy Cannon is back in full training. This is massive, absolutely massive. Cannon was instrumental before his injury. He was the heartbeat. To have him eligible again from New Year's Day is, quite literally, like signing a £5 million midfielder for free. He knows the system inside out. He has the trust of the manager. He has the love of the fans. Parkinson highlighted this specifically. He knows what Cannon brings: energy, vision, control. In the second half of the season, when legs get heavy and the pitches get boggy, having a fresh Andy Cannon patrolling the middle of the park is a cheat code. It allows us to rotate without losing quality. It allows us to control games that might otherwise slip away. Think about the depth this gives us. We aren't just patching holes, we are reinforcing the steel of the team. If Parky went out to the market to find a replacement for a fully fit Andy Cannon, he'd be quoted silly money. Instead, he just has to open the door and let him back in. That is smart business. That is why Parkinson is the man for the job. It's not just the forward lines and the midfield getting a boost. The defence is getting its soldiers back too. And after conceding 3 against Sheffield United, even if we did score 5, we know the defensive solidity is going to be what gets us over the line. Parkinson mentioned Libby Kakasi. He's been a bit of a ghost recently, hasn't he? Last featured at the start of November, but he was an unused substitute against the Blades. That tells you he's close, he's there, he's part of the matchday experience again. Having him back as an option gives us cover, it gives us tactical flexibility. And then there's the Issa Kabore situation. On loan from Manchester City, that's a pedigree you don't ignore. His time with Burkina Faso at the African Nations Cup has been cut short after they were knocked out by Algeria. Now, for his national team, that's a blow. For Wrexham, it's a bonus. It means he's coming home earlier than expected. Kabore brings pace. He brings that athletic edge that you need in League One. Having him back in the fold means Parkinson has options at wing-back. It means we aren't running the same players into the ground week after week. This is what people forget about the transfer window. Everyone looks at the in column, but keeping your current squad fit and available is infinitely more valuable. If we had signed a new right-back, what happens when Kabore comes back? You have a bloated squad and unhappy players. By waiting for Kabore, Parky keeps the pathway clear and maintains the quality.
Here is where the Gaffer impressed me the most in this update. He gave us a glimpse behind the curtain, a peek into the struggles that they don't usually shout about. I don't moan that much about the injury situation, Parkinson said. And he's right. He doesn't make excuses. He doesn't stand in front of the cameras after a loss and list the absentees. He gets on with it. But he admitted, we've had bits of adversity and a few things go against us. Lewis O'Brien, injured. James McLean, our warrior, our captain figure, getting suspended. Libby and Issa out. These aren't small misses. These are key cogs in the machine. To be sitting where we are in the table, having navigated through these absences, is a testament to the resilience of this group. It's easy to win when everyone is fit and flying, but to grind out results, to batter Sheffield United 5-3 when you've had to shuffle the pack, that shows character. Parkinson pointing this out isn't a complaint, it's a warning to the rest of the league. He's basically saying, we've done this well with one hand tied behind our back. Imagine what we'll do when we're at full strength. It's a terrifying prospect for our rivals. If Wrexham are this dangerous, with O'Brien out and Cannon recovering, what do we look like in February when the gang is all back together?
So, does this mean the checkbook is closed? Is Ryan Reynolds leaving the wallet at home? Not necessarily. Parkinson was careful with his words. He has not ruled out making new signings, he's not stupid. If a world beater becomes available for the right price, or if a sudden injury crisis hits us next week, he'll move. He's got the backing, we know the resources are there. But the key phrase is squad will look a lot stronger in the new year when more players return. He believes the internal solutions are better than the external panic buys. And honestly, he's right. January is a nightmare market. Prices are inflated, clubs don't want to sell their best players, you end up overpaying for mediocrity just to say you did something. Parkinson is avoiding that trap. He's looking at Jay Rodriguez, Ollie Rathbone, Andy Cannon, Libby Kakache and Issa Kabor and seeing 5 new players who already know the culture, already know the tactics and are hungry to prove themselves. This is the difference between a club that is run on hype and a club that is run with a strategy. It would be easy to throw money at the wall, it's much harder to trust the process, trust the medical team, and trust the players you already have.
Look, I get it. We all love the yellow ticker on deadline day. We all love the Wrexham announce tweets. It's part of the circus, it's part of the fun. But let's be real for a second. The 5-3 win over Sheffield United proved something. It proved we have goals in this team. It proved we have fight. We don't need a total overhaul. We need tweaks. We need depth. And that depth is walking out of the physio room right now. Andy Cannon returning is bigger than any rumour you'll read on Twitter. Jay Rodriguez getting minutes is more significant than a linked striker from the Championship who might not even want to come here. Parkinson is playing a blinder. He's keeping the pressure off the board, he's showing faith in his players, and he's keeping the expectations realistic, while quietly assembling a fully fit Death Star of a squad for the second half of the season. So, don't be disappointed if we don't sign Neymar in January. Be excited that we are getting our heart and soul back on the pitch. The Racecourse is going to be bouncing, and with these lads returning, the Red Dragons are ready to breathe fire. What do you think? Is Parky right to trust the returning players, or are we taking a massive risk by not strengthening the squad with fresh blood? The comment section is open. Let's hear it.